So thank you. Thank you for being with us. We've got you for 10 minutes this afternoon, so I'll hand over to you to start your presentation. Sorry, I couldn't hear your name from down here.
Kia ora koutou katoa, ko waio i tuaki nei, ko maunga haruru, ko taki timi te waka, ko Ngāti Kahanunu te iwi, ko Ngāti Tū te hapu, ko Keri Nuku tōku ingoa, he kai whakahaere tōpūtanga tāpohi kai te aki o Aotearoa, and I'm joined today with our Chief Executive, Paul Golter, for the New Zealand Nurses Organisation. I'd like to start that NZNO requested to be heard in person on the Treaty Principles Bill because we have grave concerns this proposed legislation will worsen Māori health outcomes. This legislation plays with Māori lives. It says it's okay not to give attention to the need to fix the health system that is killing our people. Tangata whenua are not the enemy. They are not a threat to this country. Here are some facts. They die faster and in bigger numbers than non-Māori. Māori don't live as long as non-Māori. Māori don't earn as much money as non-Māori. Māori are less likely to own their own homes. As Aotearoa's largest professional union in health, we represent more than 60,000 nurses, midwives, students and healthcare assistants, including more than 4,000 kaimahi Māori. As you would have read from our submission, Māori nurses are on the front line of the inequities in the health sector, where Māori are more likely to suffer from preventable illnesses, comorbidities and shorter lifespans. Te Treaty provides a foundation to fix the serious and dire health problems faced by Māori, something I'll expand on further. We acknowledge the pre-existing rights of Māori as tangata whenua, and Te Treaty o Waitangi as the founding document in Aotearoa, New Zealand. The legal precedents. The Crown has never met its obligations under Te Treaty within the health system, and its failure to work in a meaningful partnership with and deliver equitable health outcomes for Māori. Despite health strategies that have been equity-based aspirations, system, design, funding models and service delivery are not equity in their results. This bill legitimises those breaches rather than readdressing the injustices and ensuring Te Treaty is honoured in the design, delivery and monitoring of health services. It arrests and reverses all progress made to improve Māori access to culturally safe care and improve major and persistent and equitable health outcomes with other New Zealanders. This bill's reference to everyone being entitled without discrimination to the equal enjoyment of the same fundamental rights fails to account for the systemic racial discrimination against Māori within the health system and the existing role of Te Treaty of Waitangi in achieving equitable health outcomes for Māori. This is also in contradiction with the intent of Te Treaty, which recognises the collective and holistic rights of iwi and hapu and the Crown's obligation to actively protect them. The bill is contrary to the Pai-Ora Act. The bill represents the government breaching its own policy and objectives of the health sector. The bill proposes uninvestigated sweeping changes that impact all legislation that makes existing reference to the treaty principles, the principles of Te Treaty of Waitangi. The Pai-Ora Act sets a legal imperative for the Crown to actively protect and improve Māori health and wellbeing and address the disparities. This bill is inconsistent with the obligations on the Minister of Health to fulfil Section 6 of the Act, and the impacts of these contradictions have not been investigated. The culturally safe care and unique position of Māori nurses to achieve health inequities. Cultural safety is critical to ensure engagement and empowerment of Māori users of the health system. If our health system is not safe for Māori, we will see further obstructions to access and widening health disparities between Māori and non-Māori. Māori nurses hold a unique and essential position within the healthcare, blending their professional nursing expertise with local knowledge and relationships with community and kaupapa Māori models of care. To reiterate, NZNO appears here to reflect the collective and individual role of nurses to be an advocate for the community, for patient, for Māori. It is our moral and ethical responsibility to call out a system that is chronically and systemically racist and advocate against discriminatory practices. The health system must recognise and allow for tino rangatiratanga and mana motohake of hauora Māori, and this bill is not only distinguishes these rights and aspirations, it will directly worsen Māori health outcomes. Kia ora.
Keri, Paul, thank you both. Members' questions. Start with, I think we've got one from Ginny straight away, and then Marty Ming.
Thank you.
Tilda, thank you very much for your submission. We've heard a lot about what is equality today and how we examine that through a treaty lens. I'm really interested to understand the impact on Māori service delivery, the potential impact for this bill and some of the ideology that underpins it. In particular, what are the risks with not being able to provide Māori with culturally appropriate nursing services?
We're already seeing some of that risk now. We have got an underrepresentation of a Māori health workforce after years of campaigning and activating for a workforce, a Māori workforce that matches the population. We're historically under target. And if you look at the current policies that are put in place, the workforce strategy, there is no intention of the current government to invest in increasing Māori workforce, which is well needed because what we know works is for Māori services. We're also seeing huge discrepancy in terms of funding allocation to any Māori health service. And if we look at the issue, historical issue once again, that Māori get paid disproportionate. Those that work within Māori and iwi providers get paid disproportionately lower than those that work within the hospital systems. Equal work of equal value should be the principle that we uphold here, but clearly we are allowing this gap to continue.
We'll go to Māori Mino Kapu.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You opened up by referring to whakatawhino, not the enemy. So how do you hear words such as, and you might just touch on it, just utilising that answer, that we get preferential treatment? Might get preferential. The minute people hear generally, the supporters of the bill anyway, talk about Māori for Māori, it's an instant reaction, an allergic reaction nearly to that means that it's preferential. We get additional rights or resource or whatever it is. Can you just talk to that? How does that you feel, think?
I've been a nurse and a midwife and worked in the health sector for over 30 years. And certainly those comments of preferential treatment are not part of what I see every day. The struggle for those that use the health system, and in actual fact, the reverse. Māori are not privileged within the health system. The Y2575 recommendations and our nurses that gave evidence clearly demonstrated Māori are not given preference within a health system. If anything, Māori are struck off. Māori are turned away from ED departments. Māori are not having the same access. Māori can't afford to access and go to doctors or go to clinics. So the worsening conditions is perpetuated. There is no privilege within the health system.
So it's time for one last one if anyone has any further questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So an extension to that thinking then, Nick, is that, well, if that's true, then if those conditions that you've just referred to, that is simply because we're lazy, we don't do enough, we're too fat, blah, blah, blah. That thinking heads down that pathway of thinking, and therefore it is simply our fault. The state of it is our fault. We get here because we don't do enough, and all of those horrible but silly things, but they get said, and then they get believed, and then they get embedded in the stuff that we're having to deal with like today.
And what a lot of Māori nurses that work within departments will tell you is that prejudgment often is deeply entrenched in the behaviour within the practice, within the system, within the attitudes and professional people as well. So our people will not go to services because they know that that's what they're going to get coined with, that it's your own responsibility, that you should be able to afford and the treatment that's necessary. That is far from the truth.
Thank you, Kerry. Thank you, Paul, both for joining us this afternoon. We appreciate both your patience and
I hope Ray's next near the computer or can at least hear, but this literally just makes me think of what Stacey went through.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, this is really does make me on that. I mean, I won't say any more because that's Stacey's decision, but that just literally felt like
some of that was preconceived prejudice for Waitangi. It was just a general like that must be girl stuff. Let's go that way.
Yeah.
But it's the same behaviours, the same. Recycled ignorance.
Yeah. Oh well, let's flash up.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to our Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, News Scout, The Order, Paper